Hey, what up, everybody? Thanks for joining the Big Zig Show. This is May 5th, 2021, and this is episode number 12. I am joined today by a special guest. His name is Austin Howard, and he is the owner of Tapper's Arcade and Bar, downtown Indianapolis, on Virginia Street or Virginia Avenue. It's right by Eli Lilly Center, just north of Fountain Square, and just blocks away from Lucas Oil Stadium. Yes, he has craft beer, all the arcade games. It's like walking into a museum of arcade games, real old video games, and it's also a brewery. You can also get a mixed drinks there, soda, whatever. It's really an incredible story. It's an incredible business, and Austin was kind enough to come on here and share the story, to take time out of his day. So I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you learned something. And this is, again, another entrepreneur telling his story, overcoming adversity and believing in himself. And this is what this is all about. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoy the show. To my daughter Ella, if she's out there watching, I love you. I love you, Ella. And just thank you for all the support, everybody that has reached out, all the kind words, messages, everything. Thank you, guys. We're building something special here, and I hope it continues. Like I said, Austin Howard, great story, and I hope you enjoy it. Hey, and if no one told you they love you today, Big Zig loves you. All right, enjoy the show. I'll talk to you soon. Did you see that model in a different city, or did you just come up with that completely yourself?
Yeah, so it's been a joint effort. So I'm not really a big video game person. I mean, not that I mean, I've learned a lot over the last 6-7 years. But prior to that, I mean, I never really had a console. I think the last console I had was probably like the Sega Genesis. So never anything past that. I didn't do the 64 or anything else. But I had a friend. Was married at the time, and his name's Jeff. So was big into comic books, collecting things. I think collecting video game like console like cartridges and things. But then that kind of transpired into him being into collecting arcade games and pinball machines. So he got his first pinball machine, and I think he went to I think I'm telling this story right. So I think he went to like a convention where they've got all these pinball machines and like classic arcade games that have kind of like been restored. So he basically was there like rare games and everybody plays them. So I think this was in Columbus, and Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
And he saw a place there, like they went there afterwards. He saw this place, and I at the time was just working in the like hospitality industry. I was working audiovisual in hotels. So I was working late. He had just gotten back, I think, and it may have been a couple days, but anyway, he had just gotten back, and he was at dinner with my wife, and he had kind of said, and I met up with them. So I met up with them. It was like late night at a bar, like so that's how these things start, right? Late night at a bar. I show up. Hey, I just went to this place, and basically it's an arcade bar. So they've got drinks, and then you've got your walls just lined with arcades. And I think it's a cool thing. And like, what do you think? Do you think that might be something? Like, I think I'd like to do that. Do you think that might be something that you'd want to help with? So then that's how I got involved. I said, I mean, I just didn't understand it. I mean, I was just like, there's a lot of questions, right? You're like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what an arcade bar is. What does that entail? Not coming from like any kind of arcade type background. I just kind of we had to figure it out. So the next day I just called him up and I said, hey, you were talking about that thing last night, and it kind of sounds cool. Like, I know that I wanted to have my own business in some capacity, whatever that was. I didn't know. I mean, I think I wanted to be involved in like brewing and have a brewery. So this was like back in like 2008. Was really into that, and I got a job as an air traffic controller.
Okay, hold on. Whoa. Where did you go to your last?
That, and then by the time, yeah, sure.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you pause there for a second. So where? Okay, you said you didn't go to Southeastern your last year, right?
Oh, right. Yeah. So I went to actually options charter school, like in Carmel.
Oh,
I had,
okay.
yeah. So I had like a little bit of trouble finishing that high school career up. And,
Yeah, the core
I don't
40.
know. It was just like, it's just one of those things that happened. And I thought it would be easy, and it was easy, but was it the right decision in hindsight? I mean, and then that was good. So I graduated.
Yeah. Well, like you said, dude, like I almost considered the same thing at one point. It was the North Central program where you go to like half day school and then you go to like learn. I was gonna go learn the radio station thing.
Yeah.
I never ended up doing that. And obviously, dude, like my grades have always been C's, D pluses, and B minuses, and like
Yeah.
that's even in college. It's just what it is. But I always know I wanted to own my own business. Same thing, so I kind of wanted to know where you went, because you went to the charter school, and then from there you went to
I went to Full Sail.
When?
2004 or 5 to like 2000. From that, and then I ended up working for the audio visual company through the hotels, kind of using a little bit of my skill set through Full Sail.
So were you in class of 2004 or 2003?
Yeah, and I think you were down there with Kevin, right, at the same time.
Me and Kevin Oakes came down there and lived together. We came down there literally right at the end of 2005, like December 2000. We started January 2006 was our first semester for the associates program.
Yeah. Says I was about like leaving.
Right. So you basically because I tried, because Full Sail was always a dream. Like I would always look at the magazines and see the ad, right?
Yeah.
And just dream about going there. And I always inquire, it was just like, that's what I want to do. I want to learn how to make music. I didn't like music classes. I didn't have the patience to learn and play an instrument. I was more into sports at the time. It was either I was going to go to the NFL or I was going to be somehow involved with my own business, entertainment, and a platform to do it and figure it out how to do this kind of stuff, kind of like you. So that's funny. I'm not a big gamer at all either, which is funny you say that, because like you said, my parents never bought me the last thing I had was a Sega Genesis, like you said.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So okay, so you go to Full Sail, right? You leave. You just got the associates.
No, actually, I went on to get the business bachelor's. My mom kind of convinced me, and I was like, "This is exciting to be done," and she wanted me to go, so I did.
This is crazy. So I literally missed you by a year, by like a month.
Yeah.
Because I went to University of Southern Indiana from, right out of high school, because I didn't get accepted anywhere else. I knew Jamie Stone was down there, and Vinny DiMichele was going to be down there. So those were my only two people. And I had a fun year, but dude, it just wasn't, college wasn't for me, and I wanted to go. So I finally convinced my parents to, go in on a loan, let me go to Full Sail, whatever. And, took the semester off to get my things together, and then ended up going to Hurricane Katrina and making $12,000 in 3 weeks. It was a blessing, just fueling generators. So that paid my start to Full Sail, which was wild. But anyway, it's just crazy how we missed you by months. So wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, man.
So you got the recording arts, and so you did 4 years and 2, just like I did, right? And you got the business, you got the associates and the business, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome. This is so crazy. This is unbelievable.
You don't know what you're doing until you do it. You know what I mean? It's just, you got to experience it for the first time. So we just kept pitching it, and and we had a business plan, and we kept redoing the business plan. Anyway, we finally went to this bank, and they said they'd give us some money if we if we had $30,000. So that was like our mark. We have to come up with 30 grand. They'll give us 100 grand if we have 30 grand. Meanwhile, Jeff's kind of collecting all these arcade games, these video games. And we were kind of using those. We totally inflated the cost of those. Like, he'd buy something for $200 just so that we could leverage this bank loan. And anyway, so
do what you gotta do.
Yeah, right. So anyway, he came up with this plan that we could do it. So this was like Kickstarter and Indiegogo were very popular back then. Everybody was doing Kickstarters or like, fundraising campaigns.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he decided, let's do one of those. And I was like, again, another thing. I don't know how this works. Let's look into it. So we just did some research. Finally, we put it together. If you donated, a certain amount of money, you got certain perks. So like, I think it started out as like a high five was $5, a keychain was 10, a koozie was 15, a t-shirt was 25. And it just kind of went up from there to where we kind of figured out this is how much it would cost us to make these items. People give us this money, we'll give them these things. And then it'll kind of, we'll build in a built-in crowd that when we get this thing off the ground, we'll have all these people who are excited about it and know it. It's kind of a form of advertising. I mean, it kind of, in hindsight, it was a really good idea before our bar was ever open. And so it worked out, right? So we launched this campaign, started going. I wanted to be a part of, brewery kind of thing. So, what we realized was, breweries are always looking to get people in there and however they can get them in. So, I mean, trivias are a good way to get people in, but we had these arcade games and we wanted to kind of have this idea come to fruition and make this a reality. So kind of for these breweries anyway. So we had this idea, why don't we bring all these arcade games to these breweries, promote our campaign, and then that way people know about it and then they can donate and they can contribute to our campaign, so we can raise this $30,000 to get this bank loan. And then also, it works for the breweries. The breweries are going to get people in, they're going to buy the beer. It proves our concept, so that way we know, hey, so once we get open, will people want to come and will they drink and will they hang out and will they do all that? So we did 3 or 4 of those things, and it worked, right? So we reached our goal of $30,000. So then it was kind of crazy. It's like I mean, I don't know this because I don't have any children, but I guess the way I want to equate it to is like someone hands you this child, and the child was not even just the $30,000. It was just this idea that people believed in, right? It was more than just the money. It was just their belief and the idea that this could happen. And they believed in it so much that they gave their own money to us to make this happen. But then it was also just like, there's this obligation that like, I have to do this now. I mean, now these people have given us some money. We can't back out of this now. Like, this has to happen.
Yeah.
In my eyes, there was no turning back at that point.
Mm-hmm.
We can't give this money back. I mean, we could, but why would we? This is what a letdown, So
right.
It kind of just pushed the project along. So then, we had to find a place to do it, and we did. That process was a little bit tough, but we finally landed on a spot kind of in the Fountain Square area and Fletcher Place, and
I saw where you were located. I originally thought it was Broad Ripple, and then but the more I look, but then obviously I looked at your website and everything. Like, you're blocks away from Lucas Oil. You're just north of Fountain Square. You're right across from Eli Lilly downtown. Yeah, like, dude, that is primo location. You know what I'm saying? And especially for what you guys are doing.
Yeah. When we were looking at it.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
When we were looking at it, we weren't really sure. Yeah, we weren't really sure if that was going to work or if it wasn't going to work. But, we were looking in Fountain Square. We thought that would be our crowd. And I think it is. But, this thing popped up in Fletcher Place. It was a good, our landlords were kind enough to help us quite a bit with the build out and the construction and everything. So, I mean, we kind of just came into it with, the $100,000 loan. Plus we were able to put it all together and then have this built-in crowd. So from the second we opened the doors, we had a line. So and we kept that line around for 4 or 5 months. So just lucky, but then also, I mean, yeah, I mean, it was good timing. Being first to make that concept happen. So there was another one in Broad Ripple. I believe they've now closed. But being first to market there and kind of doing it like we did, grassroots, kind of connecting with people, creating a community was what we wanted to do. And then we were able to do it that way. And I think that kind of just helped us, be more successful that way.
Did you go under the name Tappers Arcade? Was that the name? Was that the brand you were building, Tappers?
Yeah. Tappers.
Okay.
It was kind of, I don't even know how there's a video game called Tapper. And I think it was more, I mean, like the reason we came up with the name is because it's kind of like rolls off the tongue. It's like, let's go to, and it needs to be a short word. So
yeah,
Tappers.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you tap a beer and then you tap on the buttons on the, like on an arcade game. So it kind of.
Dude, that's awesome. I didn't even think about that.
Just goes beer and arcade kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
As a bartender, you pull the tap and you tap it on. Wow, that's amazing. So basically, what you're saying is you built this brand, you marketed it, you advertised it, built your own community of people, and then, boom! As soon as you opened the doors, it was a little bit of lady luck, but things were rolling, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's we just didn't know it at the time. But being able to do that campaign, reach people and market heavily before we even needed to market. I mean, most places open and like you open the doors and then you start your marketing.
Right.
With social media and everything, this is just a different game. And I think, I mean, it's like that for everything. I mean, I think I was in a band when I was a kid, and to have social media at our fingertips back then would have been a huge asset. We just didn't have it; it wasn't around. But to be able to utilize that and to kind of, leverage, the following that we had through social media, trying to raise, money. We just like I said, when we opened the doors, people were ready to come. They already knew you were there. They were ready for it. They couldn't wait. I mean, we had already proven it. We'd been to all those breweries. They had seen it. They were dying to do it again. And so they just showed up, so it was good.
That's awesome, brother. That's awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the Big Zig Show. This is episode 12. I'm talking with co-owner of Tappers Arcade, downtown Indianapolis. It is an arcade and brewery. And this is Austin Howard. I consider him a friend of mine. We knew each other in high school. And here we are 20 years later, almost 20 years later.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Out of nowhere talking about business, and this is what it's all about. This is why I created the platform. I'm trying to build this brand to try to, basically I want this to be an outlet for overcoming stories like this, overcoming adversity, just these stories of how you build your business. What did you do? Like sharing the information for other people to do the same thing, because there's enough for everybody to eat. I'm all with the networking and positive things. There's too much negative stuff going out in the world, and that's why I created this. And I'm honored and humbled to have you on, man. And thank you for doing it. Thank you for taking the time. Seriously.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think, you have to create your opportunity, but I mean, the advice there is just like, if there's something you want to do, the only difference between you and that person who did it is the fact that person did it, and that kind of depends on what it is. I mean, not all of us can be star athletes, right? But, you can certainly, make it in that field in some way. And it's just persistence and not giving up and, overcoming, if you don't have the money to do something, I mean, you just got to keep trying and wake up every day and make that the goal. It happen.
Right. Absolutely. So once again, my guest, Austin Howard, owner of Tappers Arcade, downtown Indianapolis. It is 501 Virginia Avenue. His website is tappersarcadegames.com.
Tappers Arcade.
What's that?
tappersarcadebar.com.
tappersarcadebar.com, and his Instagram is at Tappers Arcade, right? On Instagram?
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Awesome. And basically, like we were talking earlier, prime location, just north of Fountain Square, blocks away from Lucas Oil Stadium, and right there by Eli Lilly. What's the square footage of your building, as a matter of fact? I've never been there.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's a good question. I think, let me think.
It looks pretty big. It looks big, though.
It is big. We started small and we've expanded a couple years ago. I mean, we started like in 30 arcade games, and now we have 60 arcade games and 24 pinball machines. But square footage, I think it's like around 8,000 or 9,000 square feet.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's grown quite a bit, and that's been like kind of the goal. We've kind of toyed around with the idea of having second locations,
Right.
but it's hard to keep everything going. It's hard to keep everything working. So the idea there was, the one location and make it twice as big, and it's easy to run one location than it is two. I mean, I'm always envious of people who can scale their business in a way of having those multiple locations. But and some things are easier than others. I mean, the real problem with us is just just maintaining these games is at the level that I want to is hard, right? So I mean, we could probably do it, and they'd be like finicky. I don't know. I quality is of utmost importance.
I was going to ask you, what do you do about the repairs to those games? Because I know back in our day when we would go to the arcades, it was always repair issues and stuff like that. Matter of fact, Andy Smythe, who lived down the street from me, his family owned a video game repair place.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it. But anyway, I know that there's money to be made in the repair game.
Sure. Yeah. No, we do it all ourselves. It was kind of, we had to figure it out. There's really nobody to call anymore for those things. And we just figured it out. Yeah. It was, I mean, there's a lot of resources online. You just get thrown into the fire. It's just like, you've got a room full of arcade games and something goes wrong. And again, it's not letting down the community that we promised we would make this thing happen. I'm not going to settle for, it just doesn't work or whatever. So, I mean, it's just figure it out and don't give up. I mean, I cut my fingers this morning trying to repair a game, just like stabbed myself with a pair of scissors trying to, rewire the bottom of this thing that was wired up, 40, 50 years ago. I was stumped yesterday, but I woke up today like, all right, I kind of go to bed thinking about these things. How can I fix this? What can I do? Just don't give up. And then I fixed it this morning, so now it's working for this evening. So if anybody wanted to play it, it's all good. But no, I mean, there's really, I wish the answer was, you call X company. But I think that's what makes it hard to run one of these. And I think that's what makes it, that's what makes, hopefully, the good ones stand out is you really care and you're passionate about making sure that everything works. And, and you're in tune with your customers too. I mean, I ask everybody all the time, hey, if you ever find anything wrong with it, we can get this stuff taken care of and we can make sure everything's, in tip top shape, because no one wants to come in and it's frustrating to play a thing that doesn't work.
Right. But see, here's the thing. And what I'm trying to make out of all this, like, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to this man's website, or I encourage you to really visit in person, because we're talking premium craft beer that's from local around the area. I mean, because Indiana has great craft beer. You've got your liquor license. I see you got mixed drinks now there too. And you're literally walking into like a museum. It looks like you're walking into a museum of like arcade games and how it used to be in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, you know, except you don't have to put your quarters in, just buy a drink and you can play for free. And I also saw where you have like setups where it's like Super Nintendo and there's a flat screen, there's controllers and games. And I'm sure you got that for Sega and a lot of other things too. So, I mean, just that idea, you know, okay, if one game isn't working, you've got plenty of other options, you know, that'll make people just as happy. And I'm talking every single game, dude. I look there, I'm like, holy crap, you guys have it all.
Yeah, it's been a journey, and just been a lot of collecting and everything too. And
Yeah.
what's fun, I mean, again, so back to the repairing of things, there was like the first 2 years were like, there is no way we're going to have everything working. I think it's going to be broke at any given time. There's no way that that's going to happen where we don't. Anyway, but it's all kind of evened out. I mean, I think I've worked and fixed every single game in there to a point where it's all good. And, you know, fixing that thing this morning, now we're back all up to 100%. Everything works as far as I know, and until somebody tells me otherwise, everything should be good. But yeah, so when we expanded, we also added those little TVs. So we've got the Sega, the Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, and we're experimenting with a GameCube now, the more modern version of it. But all of them have all the game, like most of the games that you can find. It's kind of semi-legal, so they're all like emulated. I don't know. I mean, I don't know who the police are that are coming after people who are, you know, who have like a library of games. I think we technically have all the actual copies of all these physical games, but it's kind of not practical to bring all those, like, you know, Sega Genesis games, hundreds of, you know, N64 games. So we put them all on a little chip, and they all play through that. They play just like the real game. But yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Napster.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to give away the way you repair the games, because I think I already know with circuit boards and what goes along with that. So the reason why I asked you about the repairs was because I think that's very essential when you know you're starting a business, that you know how to repair, and every piece of equipment that you have, that you know what's going on with it, how to work it, how to fix it, so you don't have to call that person, you know, to come out and or wait on them. Because like there would be times I remember when, not only at the studio that I had to do that, when I was working at the Ale Emporium, you know, we would pull a bar tab off, and it would break off. You know, we'd break the handle off on accident, and then we just have to, you know, put, you know, and our manager knew how to fix it, or actually one of the, you know, and then we learned how to fix it throughout time. So it's just those little things that you don't realize, because that particular beer somebody wants, and if that handle isn't working, you know, that customer is not going to be happy. So you got to know how to fix things on the fly.
Yeah.
And to the viewers out there, to the people listening to the show, Austin, actually, we figured out that we went to the same college, Full Sail University. He just went there a year. I missed him by 5 months. Me and Kevin Oakes missed him by 5 months. So not only did we go to the same high school, we went to the same college with the same degrees, which is audiovisual world. His journey is incredible. He started out, left Full Sail, and then I'll let you go ahead and wrap it up real quick, or not wrap it up, but go ahead and explain it real quick, how you got to Tappers.
Yeah, man. So left Full Sail, had no money, so moved back in with my mom, and back in Fishers, and had to figure that out. What am I going to do for a job? I want to say I worked for like the town Department of Public Works. Now it's the city of Fishers, but funny, right?
Yeah.
And then I kind of, so I was interviewing. I found this job for this audiovisual company. They kind of just do audiovisual stuff in hotels. Got a job at the Westin downtown Indianapolis. Did that for a little bit. then moved over to the Hyatt, and anyway, just working in hotels. Got a job lined up for being an air traffic controller, so I did that. It was a great op, and kind of like I told you before, I was kind of like chasing a paycheck. It was good money, in a good stable government job. Did it, went to the academy, went to Memphis, so I was in the air traffic control tower in Memphis, Tennessee. But I didn't really love Memphis. It's a great place to visit. I hope that doesn't offend anybody, but it just wasn't for me. I mean, being from Indianapolis, it's a different way of life down there, and it's the South.
3-6 Mafia.
No, really the South. So we, yeah. So we, so I did that for a year. My lease was up for my hotel, or for my apartment, and I had a house lined up. It was a sweet house. I was ready to rent it, and I was kind of frustrated with a lot of things, but I was really stoked on this house, excited to move in there. But I really didn't love the job. I didn't love the area, but I was just trying to stick it out and just persevere. We rented out to somebody else. It was a really big bummer. So I just was like, I went into work the next day and I said, hey, I quit. And quitting as an air traffic controller is not something that happens very often. That's one of those jobs that you for forever. And to be honest, maybe that was like something that kind of scared me a little bit, is like, this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I was 24, 25 years old at the time, and I don't know, there's something about that I didn't really like. I was working with was all grumpy. I mean, they were all 40s, close to 50, and there was no creativity. It was just like a clock in, shift work, do your job, go home. Which honestly, in hindsight, if I had that job now, I'd probably be pretty happy with it. But as a 24, 25-year-old, I was just like, there's more to life than this. I don't want to do this for forever. Right. I mean, my parents thought I was making the worst decision ever.
Of course. Get a real job.
And potentially I probably
real job.
Yeah.
Real job.
Yeah. Right.
Real job.
But I wanted to do, something for myself and create a business. So we basically just, I went back and just got back in the audiovisual thing, and then was searching, and then along came Jeff, and he kind of proposed that idea to me, and then that's where we got.
Outstanding. And you got inspired by going to Columbus, Ohio one night with your friend, with your partner, Jake, in Columbus, right? Ohio. This is where Tappers
so
kind of started.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yep. So he had saw an arcade bar out there, and he went out there for a convention. He's my business partner. He's very much the one that's in the arcade video game, everything, into collecting all that stuff. So he went out there for a convention, went to this bar afterwards that had all these video games. He saw it. He came back. I saw him the next day, and he described this place, and I was like, what? I have no idea what you're saying. But anyway, I don't know. It sounds cool. Whatever, dude. And then the next day I was like thinking about it, and I was like, I called him and I was like, hey, let's go to Columbus. Let's go check it out. Let's get in the car. Let's go check this place out, see what it's all about, and see what we think. So, we drove there, and, walk in, and the place is packed. There's craft beer flowing everywhere. It was all about the beer and all about the video games. And, that was kind of a cool thing. It's like, this guy's into these video games. He's into these arcade games. I'm into the craft beer. That was kind of what I wanted to get into. We can make this work, man. So we did. And then we kind of, then had to come up with all that money and did the Indiegogo and everything else. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what you're trying to say is that you invested in yourself when your back was against the wall, scared, out of your comfort zone, not knowing what's going to happen, but you believed in it. You believed in the company, the culture, and what you were building in the community.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I mean, and that's what it takes. Just don't give up, and I mean, just don't let anything get in your way. I mean, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. And, you know, I mean, banks were telling us that we were crazy. I think they were probably we probably were crazy. But the thing is, you know, in the end, you're
called
not
crazy every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah. You're crazy until you're not crazy. And then you're the one who did it. Right. So that's just,
you know, like, I think what you're doing is incredible. Again, ladies and gentlemen, he is open. Are you guys open 7 days a week?
7 days a week. Yeah. Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. to midnight, Friday, 4 p.m. to 1 a.m., Saturday, noon to 1 a.m., and then Sunday, 2 p.m. to midnight.
Wow, you got it nailed down. As a former.
If you call, you listen to the voice message. That's me. So I had to practice that like 10 or 12 times. Delete. Okay, re-record. Anyway, so I got it down.
That's the creator in you. That's dude, I'm telling you, this is why it's so hard to watch myself. It's so hard to edit. It's so hard to like do it like myself, because it's just like nothing is perfect.
Yeah.
You know? Nothing's good. It's not good enough until you gotta be like, all right, whatever, screw it, you know. And that's why I don't watch it afterwards. I'm like,
yeah, absolutely.
But you know how it's like editing vocals. It's tedious things that we do, but we're creators, and you know, it is what it is, you know. So I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude.
Totally roommate. That's awesome. And you were also in the band down on Haley, correct?
I was, yeah.
And we had Tyler Cobb on episode 3, 4, maybe, I don't know. But Tyler Cobb part 1, or no, it was episode 6, part 1. We talked about it. We talked about you, and that's how this kind of whole conversation started. Shout out to Tyler Cobb, thank you. And we're still.
Oh, we're still playing now. We kind of, you know, got reunited later, and we're in completely different places in life. We're not in high school anymore.
Right. Yeah. Nobody is. Nobody is.
Yeah.
Nobody is.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been fun. I play the drums.
You're a drummer, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I thought, okay, and that's just so crazy you said it, because it's like people are like, oh, they still hanging on people from high school. Well, actually, you know what though? I've got, probably just like you, I've got friends all over the country and the world, as a matter of fact. And the people, not even though I know those people well, I know the people back home in Indy that I call home, even though I'm down in Florida, but I still call Indy home. Like, those are the people that I trust the most, because I've seen and I've grown up with them. I see their character. I know who they are.
Yeah.
Like we were talking, dude, like I couldn't find you in the yearbook, and I was talking. I was like, dude, have I seen you since high school? And we were like, no. And so here we are talking, and it's just like we just left 2004 and came right here, you know, because this is kind of a conversation we would have, but not this mature. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know what kind of person you are. You were in a band. You're a good dude. We've had, you know, nothing. You know, you're not a scumbag. You know, I mean, you're good people. So why wouldn't I want to go home and promote other people's businesses and help other people and try to create this network, and we all can help each other out and do these things, and then take the money we make and use it for good causes and things like that. You know, I just want to live comfortable, provide for my daughter, and I'm sure you want to do the same thing. Just live comfortable. You know, it's not about the greed. It's not about, you know, of course you got to make money, you know, but you know, anyway,
definitely.
You know, I just think your story is incredible, and I encourage everybody out there, please check out Tapper's Arcade. I'll be in Indy soon, but when I do, I will definitely come in and check it out. I don't drink anymore, but I will definitely buy what, you got energy drinks, you got Red Bull in there, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, we got Red Bull, we got sodas, we got like Coke products, we got kombucha. We've been thinking about coming up with like some mocktail kind of things, just because I've actually just for performance health, like working out kind of thing, I've been cutting back, like not drinking very much either. So I mean,
You've been working out? No,
Yeah, trying to. I mean, you
no
getting
kidding.
older. I'm not getting any younger, man.
No,
Oh, hey,
no, we're not getting any younger. Everybody's got an expiration date,
yeah,
and that's
yeah,
what.
man.
And if there's anything we've realized over, the 2020, the COVID year, whatever, you never know when it's our time. So like, not saying or anything, like, hey, I want to end on good terms with this person every time I leave, because
Yeah,
you don't know when it's their time. And I'd feel terrible if I didn't get to see that person or say something to them. I love them, hey, you're a great person. I appreciate you. Before they left, I would like to
yeah,
leave on good terms. And people are on social media trying to create this picture of how life is so great and everything. But we know the struggle, and everybody on here, we've talked about taking a risk, overcoming adversity, and really just believing in yourself, investing in yourself, and chasing your dream. Once again, thank you for coming on the show. I,
yeah,
I
man.
appreciate it. You told me you're going to be down here actually in Bradenton tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
Or Thursday.
I'll be down there tomorrow night.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll link up. We'll link up then. I'll come see you. That's wild. That's even crazier. Uh, I'll come see you. We'll talk even more,
Okay.
and people go support this man's business. It's not. You will be amazed at what this man has done. Shout out to Tappers Arcade. Shout out to Tyler Cobb, and shout out to you, Austin Howard. You're my
Hey,
man.
thanks,
Thank
man.
you. I appreciate you, brother. After hearing that story of Austin and uh, how he got his business started and how Tappers Arcade is doing very well and they built their brand. It's all about marketing and branding. Um, I just love what's going on. Thank you again for your support. Shout out to all my boys that I did. You know who you are if you're out there. You know who you are, and I appreciate you. Everybody that's taking their time to even watch anything or um, like anything, comment, send private message, whatever. I appreciate it sincerely, and you know, I'm here. Big Zig. This is all about love. This is all about positivity. Overcoming adversity and helping one another and supporting one another in business and in life in general. In this little time we have in life. So, um, thank you to everybody, and man, I just wait till you see what I have next. Wait till you. I appreciate the support. Big things are coming, and I hope you enjoy it. Once again, it's May 5th, 2021. This is the end of episode 12, The Big Zig Show with Austin Howard, owner of Tappers Arcade, Bar, and Grill. You can go to their website, Instagram, whatever. They are downtown Indianapolis, and yes, when I start wearing the hat, it's time for a haircut. So that's why. I don't have many hats. This is low budget. It is what it is. I'm not worried about, what the background looks like too much. It's about the content and the word you're getting out of it. Once again, rest in peace to Taylor Lee Pope, Bryce William Mitchell, Chastity Bradford, Scott Sheffer, Brittany York. There's a lot of them out there, and they're home. They're home. So just remember, treat others how you want to be treated. Show respect at all times. Respect is the biggest thing, and you never know when you could be called home. We all have an expiration date, so just keep that in mind next time you have a dispute with somebody you love, and make sure you keep your loved ones close. Forgiveness is the key. Live and love. I'll see you guys soon. Episode 13 is coming up. Big Z Show, baby. Love.